And we're live. Welcome back to another Sculpt Session podcast. I am here with the wonderful Manz. Say hello.
Hello.
Today, we are returning back with yet another pod chat of us talking about real life stuff. And today's going to be a good talk. Today's going to be an interesting talk. So grab your coffee, get some water, buckle up because we are going to be talking about why perfectionism is the killer of progress. And
Ooh.
this is a little bit spicy. This disclaimer, this might make you feel like you're getting called out just for a little second right there, but I promise we're gonna reel it all back in with actionable steps that you could take at the end to make sure that you aren't falling into this loop of perfectionism and killing yourself from making progress because I know I've been there. I think you can relate. I think everyone could relate to the fact,
100%.
yeah, I think we can all relate to the fact that at one point in our lives, somewhere, anywhere, whether it's work, school, personal, gym, health, anything, get sucked into this want to be perfect. And that just simply doesn't exist. So we're going to be breaking it down what perfectionism means, how it shows up in real life, how to break that cycle. And yeah, I want to pass over the mic straight to you. And if you want to open up with maybe something that you struggled with wanting to be perfect on and how you overcame that.
Oh my God. Only everything. And if
Ditto.
we if we like prescribe to like identity stuff, growing up a Virgo and being told anyway that I was gonna constantly be a perfectionist, and I don't know, I've just always striven. Not sure. I've always been very motivated to check all my boxes off, and that is very much so how I would get rewarded and get my dopamine and feel accomplished and feel worthy. So for me, this topic is so like I'm so excited, but like also I spent so much of my life living in that perfectionist mindset and really seeing how it actually set me back a lot farther than you would think it does. You know, you think like, hey, if I'm being perfect, I'm gonna get so much farther ahead of the game, whatever that means, or farther ahead of other people, again, whatever that means, because it's really you versus you. Um, and actually realizing that you don't have to be perfect, and being consistent is going to be take you a lot farther than being 100% perfect, and it's going to give you a lot more energy to be consistent versus perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree with that. And to that consistency, like you jumped right into it, which I
That's
love. And no, I love. Please, head first, dive right in. I don't know if I saw this quote somewhere or I saw a similar quote and I just kind of like made some stuff up together, but like you know how they say like consistency over perfection. So I wrote this down because I feel like I made this up, but I also don't want to take credit if I might have read it somewhere and like I don't remember. Being imperfectly consistent will get you further than occasional perfection.
Yeah, because it's fucking true. Excuse
Yeah.
my language,
No, no,
but
don't apologize.
I feel
We're all
so
friends
so
here.
much passion about it.
No, so do I. So do I. And I think that I know that you mentioned like always like that's kind of how you got your dopamine is by doing something like perfect or doing something right. And I want to reel this into the idea of having the high standards for yourself, like what perfectionism is. And one of the things that I think some people get tripped up about is like, oh, well, I'm just trying to do it perfect because I have high standards for myself. And yeah, maybe you do have high standards for yourself. Maybe that's the reason why you're trying to be perfect. But is it that you have high standards for yourself, or is it that you're scared to fail? Like, do you have a fear of
Mm.
failure because you're scared to get punished for it, or you're scared of the outcome of failing? Or do you actually have high standards for yourself?
That's such a good insight because, okay, like I said, I'm
There.
like so into this. We're all, every single one of us, I think to some degree, afraid of failing. And that is before most of us realize that failure is a very necessary part of success. So I think that's where it gets like a little convoluted. Like you have to fail to realize what's not going to work for you so you can pivot and try again and be successful. But like on paper, I think most of us are just like, I don't want to fail, so I have to do it this way, the right way, the correct way, or I'm wrong and I'm not going to ever succeed. And like, period, end of sentence. That's what it is. Because that's how
For
I was with school.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. I
ugh.
mean, I totally agree with you. I think that failure is the stepping stone for growth. Failure
Mhm.
is the stepping stone towards success. Failure is the stepping stone to moving forward because when you fail and you see that, okay, this didn't work, awesome, cross it off, keep moving forward. This didn't work, that means that maybe this will work. That didn't work. All right, it's like you're narrowing down what works for you. A fad diet didn't work for you. Cool. Failed at that. No problem. What can I try next? Keto didn't work for you. Cool. Failed at that. What's next? Actually locking in and getting done what I need to get done. Oh, look, that worked. Awesome. Didn't fail at that. So I think that, again, failure is one of those words like loneliness has such a
Mhm.
negative connotation, but it is such a positive thing because it just shows you either where you need to work harder, where you need to do more, where you are lacking, or what's just simply not meant for you. Like what's just simply
Mhm.
not in alignment with you. And like to reframe it is it's not a failure, it's just crossing off what isn't working or taking it in and doing more to get better at it. Like, yeah, you'll fail at the gym. You'll fail at tracking your macros the first time you try. You'll fail at a new sport. If it's like, put me out on a freaking soccer field, I don't know what the hell to do there. Like, or like put me in front of a certain instrument that I've never played, I don't know what to do there. Like I'm gonna fail at that. But then if it's something that I want to do and that I'm passionate about, I keep doing, I keep trying, I keep learning how to get better, and you learn how to get better, or it's just something that is not for me, and that's it. Like
Mhm.
I find that out. Great, awesome. Keep moving forward.
Yeah. It's really, I like what you said about that. It's an opportunity word.
It is.
Fear. Fear is an opportunity word. Loneliness is an opportunity word. It's really just about that perspective. Like, I
It's
think
all
the
about perspective, baby. It's all
totally like
about perspective.
how is failing working for you? How is it? Well, like nobody, like you said, you can try anything and almost guaranteed you're gonna fail the first time, and that's okay. It's a
Yeah.
pivot. It just shows you like this way didn't work for me. Okay. Now I'm gonna sound like an idiot here, even though I just was like, oh, I was so good at school. Um, the guy that invented electricity, is that Benjamin Franklin or
Why do
Thomas
I want to
Edison?
say Albert Einstein?
I think he was physics. I don't know. Okay, so the smart old guy that figured
with
out
with white hair
electricity.
that figured out electricity. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. He had to do that like hundreds and hundreds and thousands of times to figure out like how do we harness this and put it into homes instead
Yeah.
of just using like fire lanterns. And if he gave up, then we probably wouldn't have had electricity in our homes for God knows how long.
Yeah.
So if you ever feel like you're failing at something, just know you're discovering your own electricity. Horrible
Yeah.
analogy, but
No,
whatever.
but I love that. I love that. And that's such a good point. And that leads me to my next point with what perfectionism is. It's too connected to this fear of failure. When you have fear of failure, you probably have fear of judgment. You want to be in control. When you put those things together, it creates what I like to call a paralysis, a literally perfectionism paralysis. And this, it sounds like, oh my God, paralysis. Like, you could take it out of context and make it sound like it's like so much worse, but it's literally where you feel like paralyzed to do the next thing, no matter how simple it is. It's like when you're waiting so long for the actual to do the next thing, when you're like using procrastination as I'm waiting for the perfect time or whatever. Like, no, you are in a procrastination paralysis state right now where you can't take the next step because you've created this idea of what the next step needs to look like. And that I mean, that came up in my own personal life when it came to fitness. That came up in my own personal life when it came to content. That came up in my own personal life when it came to even self-growth, because there was this, oh, I need to have the perfect setting. I literally made a TikTok right before we got on the Zoom call where I said, is it just me or do I need my workstation to look a certain type of way before I start working? Like I need it to look like this perfect. And I didn't like, I'm literally now thinking about it. This video was made less than an hour ago. It's yet to be posted, but I literally made a video saying like, I need my book in one spot. I need my water bottle in one spot. I want my pens on my left side. I want my hair clip over here, my this over there. Like I want it to look a certain type of way. And if it doesn't, I'm almost like I can't start working. And this is something that I'm still working through, clearly, as I'm explaining it to you guys. But this came up in my fitness journey for a period of time where unless I know exactly what workouts I need to do, or if I don't leave my house at 6 a.m. to go to the gym and it's 6:05, that's it. I'm not going. Like in those kinds of ways. And that slowed down my fitness journey by years. Like when I say years, I mean I was on and off and on and off for 2 to 3 years before I actually was like, I'm sick of my own shit. Like I'm literally sick of my own shit and I could have been so much further already.
Yeah.
And it's not impossible to break out of it, and like that's something that we're going to get to as we go on with this video. But procrastination paralysis, what do you think about that? I think I just
I,
made that up, but it's a thing.
no, no, no. That's for sure a thing because I've also experienced it. And when you said like, oh, it's 6:05, I didn't leave for the gym at 6 o'clock on the dot, so like I'm not going. Been there, big or late. Um, so I was also laughing as I'm looking around my workspace and I'm like, yep, my coffee and water go on the right-hand side. Even though I'm right-handed, my pens also go on the left-hand side. So I feel you there, sis.
It's
Like,
why I'm a righty. I'm like passing the pen from my left, but anyway, it's
yeah,
it's a
yeah.
thing. It's like
It
a
is,
tick.
it's truly a thing. Or like when I first started working out to tie it into the gym, I would get to the gym and like I had my workout plan in front of me and I'm like, oh, well, this machine is taken. I can't do this first workout. So like I should just scrap everything.
Yeah, then I
Somebody's
can't
on
work
it.
out at all.
Like
If
I
this
can't work out. Like maybe I'll just walk on the treadmill and then go home. And it's like you said, I'm the reason that I cut myself off of years of progress. And it's like, okay, yes, most workout plans ideally are made in a certain order. Like I would argue most people would, of course, warm up, but then like compounds first, so you're not totally gassed, and then accessories, or however your coach has it. And if, God forbid, one or two times you have to go out of order, like you will not die, you will not get injured, the results will still come.
Yeah,
So that perfection paralysis is very, very real. And it happens in everyday life too. We're talking about the gym, but there were definitely times where I almost maybe could you could say I've sabotaged certain relationships without like consciously sabotaging them because of the paralysis perfectionism. Oh, this person didn't text me at this time, cutting him off. This guy didn't call me when he said he would because and he had a good reason, too bad, cutting him off or like,
yeah.
so you have to be so careful about identifying it because as soon as you identify it, you can address it and get the fuck out of your way.
Yeah, I feel like I love that you just said that, because I was just about to say once you identify it, you make it now a thing. Like
Hmm.
before it was just something that was in your head. And I still have my moments where I'll look at the time and I'm like, all right, it's right now for the sake. It's 11:53. At 12 o'clock, I'm gonna make this post. If it's 12 o'clock or 12:02 and I haven't made the post, I'll be like, all right, 12:15. And like I had that. And here and there, I'll still catch myself. And once I catch myself, I'm like, no, screw that. I'm making it right now. Like, I will literally
Hmm.
go against myself in my head, like, literally, little devil angel kind of
Hmm.
situation where it's like, ooh, you didn't do it at 12 o'clock. You're screwed. Now you have to wait another 15 minutes until 12:15. And then over here, I'm like, there's been times where I'm like, yeah, you're right. And now I'm like, no, screw you. Like I'm doing it anyways. And that might seem so small and so minimal, but it's taken me so like I would go sometimes days without posting on social media, which is what I love to do. It's my job. It's besides it being my job, it's a place where I go to help people. It's a place where I go to share my journey. It's a place where I just go to share life. I would stop myself from that because my Instagram feed doesn't look a certain type of way, or I didn't post it at a certain time, or I procrastinated. I was literally in a paralysis procrastination mindset for over a year about starting YouTube. Over a year.
I remember.
Not to mention I still haven't posted a video from my peak week, which was 5 months ago. Like this is that, and it all comes back to perfectionism. It's like, why didn't I post it? Well, the video doesn't look exactly how I want it to. Oh, it's not perfect. Oh, it doesn't have this. Oh, it doesn't have the right intro. It doesn't have the right music. It does, and it's like, who the hell cares? It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to happen. And this I feel like we've already dove into how this perfectionism mindset shows up in real life, but I feel like a lot of people truly struggle with this without being able to identify what it is and how to fix
Hmm.
it. And once you're able to take it out of your head and be like, oh my God, I'm trying to be a perfectionist about it, and you see it for what it is, it's like you could shrink it. Like you could shrink it, you could learn how to deal with it, you could learn how to go around it and about it, and then like garbage that.
Hmm. Yeah.
Although
Well,
it
I
will
like,
still show up in life. Like no matter what, you will get tested of wanting to be this perfectionist. And it's like one of those things, like if you stop going to the gym for a month, it's going to be a little bit harder to get back into the gym. You know what I mean? But like the muscle memory is still there, but now you have to like force yourself a little bit more. So if you fall off of paying attention to when you're trying to be that perfectionist, it might be a little bit harder to like reel yourself back in. But if you're consciously making the effort to pay notice when you're being that perfectionist and where you can minimize that or change that, that's going to go a really long way.
hmm, yeah. I want to point out you said a word
What did I say?
too. That's sort of like, um, you brought in procrastination,
Yes.
and I know you definitely want to talk about that more too, but I just, what I want to say about that is that because I was that person, number one. I know you've experienced it. I know pretty much almost every single one of my clients has experienced this. I've talked to other women that aren't my clients that have also experienced this. Perfectionism, I think we kind of will use it as a coping mechanism and a tool to procrastinate and say, oh no, I'm not ready, or like this isn't the perfect timing or whatever. But I also want to point out again to catch it because at the end of the day, that procrastination, whether it's a coping mechanism or whatever, it's still a choice you made.
And it's
You
self-sabotage.
It is, yeah. It's like just because you decided, oh, I don't want to start now, I'll pull the trigger Monday. Doing nothing is still a choice. Choosing to not act on that is a choice. So it's not like you're saying, like, oh, I'm not ready, I'll do it when I'm ready. I'm not, no, you're literally actively going against what you want and setting yourself back by
Yeah.
procrastinating because
Yeah.
it is a choice.
And thank you so much for reeling
Mm.
into this, like diving into this part of the convo because I feel like, and I'm not alone in this. I think you will be able to relate to this and any other coaches and even clients, but I've gotten on the phone with prospects, so like consult calls before.
Hmm.
And I would get the objection sometimes of, oh, yeah, like I think I just want to wait until December 1st, or I just want to wait until January 1st. Then I would ask, like, why? Oh, it just feels like a better time to start, or it just, I just need to like get ready for it or whatever. And my response to that and my thought process to that is, what difference, what positive difference will it make for you to wait a month? For you to wait a week, for you to wait an extra day or so. Because, like you said, today is Friday, and let's say I say, okay, I'm gonna wait until Monday to track my macros. I'm losing 3 days. That's 3 days that I'm setting myself back that I could have already started and by Monday already gotten the hang of things had I never tracked macros before. Or like,
Ooh.
oh, on Monday, I'll start drinking water. Like, I'll start drinking a consistent amount of water. And it's like, well, why not today? Why not
Hmm.
right now? Why not pick up your cup and take a sip? And if you're listening to this, this is a good time for a little water chug. This was coffee, but now it's water. Um, but you wanted to just say something.
Yeah, because you mentioned the macros thing, and it just kind of takes it back to where we said anything you start for the first time, you're not going to be perfect. Because I think a lot of people will be like, well, I'll start Monday and I want to have like a last hurrah where I don't have to track anything and I can go off the rails. And it's like, I know you're going to talk about this too, like the all or nothing, but like, I just think that's what's one of the biggest relatable topics is that there is that hesitancy to start tracking, thinking it's going to be all about restriction when really it's freedom.
I was just gonna say tracking food is freedom. Tracking food
Yeah.
is freedom, tracking food is knowledge. And if you're still procrastinating doing that, if you're still not tracking food in tw the end of 2025 and you are on your fitness journey or you have any fitness goals and fitness like you want to achieve anything in fitness and you don't know about food, like you don't have to track food for the rest of your life, but you have to track
Mhm.
food at a certain point in your life to learn about food. So
And your
this
body. Yeah.
and your body and how your body responds, how your body is, what your body needs. And this is like this could be a whole tangent in itself and a whole episode in
Yeah.
itself about just food, tracking food, why we do it, how it isn't it's not restriction. It really is freedom. And anyone that looks at tracking food as restriction, it's because they used food tracking to restrict themselves. Because you know what? I
Mhm.
eat chocolate every single night. I eat freaking sushi and poke once a week. I eat a half a buffin every single night. Like I eat all the foods that I love and that I enjoy. And not, if anything, I'm like, like I'm good. I'm good.
Mhm.
I have never felt restricted, even when I was in prep on tracking my macros. But this is a little
Yeah.
went a little bit off of that. But I love that you mentioned the all or nothing mindset because that there
Mhm.
is a huge difference between having an all or nothing mindset and having discipline.
Tell me, girl,
Oh, I'll
what is
tell
the
you.
difference?
I'll tell you. When you're disciplined, you have um you have that self-respect for yourself. You have goals in mind, you have boundaries, you have standards. And yes, sometimes are when you are a disciplined person, like sometimes you will get tested of saying no to things and whatever, and like that might feel for a moment a little bit restrictive because you're breaking bad habits or you're breaking bad loops or you're making lifestyle changes. But an all or nothing mindset is where you say, all right, in order for me to achieve this, that, and the third, I'm never going out with my friends. I'm never doing this. I'm never doing that. I'm only going to eat chicken, rice, and broccoli, and I'm going to do 60 minutes of cardio every single day. Versus when you're disciplined, you don't do this all or nothing because you just show up and you do things. Like the difference the main difference is that all or nothing, it's almost like a sprint. An all or nothing mindset is a sprint. It's when you'll sprint for this period of time. You may achieve your goals, you may not. If you're listening to this, I'm just showing with my fingers like a small period of time that you're like
Mhm.
sprinting across. You may achieve your goals, you may not. You burn yourself out because you are so restrictive and because you're so incredibly strict. And there's a time and a place for that. If you're in a bodybuilding prep, if you're on a super strict protocol, but even that needs to be reframed not as all or nothing, but as discipline. Because if you're disciplined enough to follow through with these things and you even do it when you don't always want to do it and you're able to say no to things and whatnot, that doesn't mean that you're an all or nothing. That just means that
Mhm.
you are either a disciplined person or be working towards being a disciplined person.
Mhm. Yeah. No, that's a really good point. And I think with the all or nothing mindset too, just something to note is when you're in that, what I've found for a lot of people is that, including myself, is that you are so focused on checking off all of the boxes that it gets to a point where you're not actually present. And when you're not present, and we'll use a gym again in this example, but like if you're not present while you're lifting and you're lifting just to mark off on your app or your training paper, yep, I did this set and I did it for this weight. Like, are you truly connecting to your body during that lift? Are you really maximizing the benefits you can get out of that? Or are you just doing this to check the box to get that, like, yep, I did it. There's my dopamine hit. Like, great, whatever. Versus like if you're disciplined, you can be present. It takes the time that it takes. And if, you know, let's say something happens, you have a dentist appointment, it's the only one they have, and it falls on your training day, like you can be disciplined to still show up and train. And then maybe you cut your sets by one on everything. So you're still getting it in, you're being flexible with it. That's being disciplined versus like, I can't train at all because I don't have the time because of the dentist, or I have to get my full lift in, and now I'm not going to be present because I'm stressed out. I'm going to be even more stressed out at the dentist, and maybe I'm like sweaty or I didn't have a chance to shower. So, like, that is also, I think, how that all or nothing can set people back, even though on paper it looks good, but really it's the discipline and being flexible with it is what's going to get you farther.
Yeah, and as you were saying that, I just had like a light bulb go off with the difference between all or nothing mindset and a disciplined person and someone who has a disciplined mindset is you could show up to the gym and I'll name two scenarios and I think you'll be able to tell right off the bat who's a disciplined person, who's an all or nothing, but for the sake of whoever doesn't understand the difference or isn't sure where they are, because it could also be easy to say, oh, I'm just so disciplined when really you're in an all or nothing mindset. But person A goes to the gym, the workout starts kind of shitty. They, continue pushing through it, they continue doing the workout, ends up having a great workout, goes back to the gym the next day. It's a great workout, whatever, so on. The week continues. But it started tough. It started tough, and then they kept showing up. They kept doing it. They feel good about it. Anyways, person B shows up to the gym. First set, not feeling it. Cool. Done. Fuck this. Out of the gym. Not going to the gym for the rest of the week because I didn't have a good start to the workout. Can we tell who's a disciplined person and who's an all or nothing mindset?
Yeah, I'm both of them. I'm just saying, like, the person B with me for like so long.
Person B
Like,
was me also.
yeah.
Like I could literally walk into a gym, start a set, and I would be like, oh, like this really doesn't feel good today, or like my earlobe hurts, so I'm not going to continue this workout. And now I'll walk into the gym. And don't get me wrong, if I'm in pain, if I don't feel good, like you said, I'll cut down maybe on some of the reps. Maybe I'll do a little less weight. Maybe I won't try to go to failure. But I'm gonna show up and I'm gonna do it. Like I'm if the shorts that I want to wear to the gym are in the laundry, that's not gonna stop me from going to the gym and getting my workout in. And that's the difference between a disciplined person and an all or nothing mindset person. And you could have been an all or nothing mindset person because I sure as heck was. And based
Hmm.
on what you said, you were also, and you can change. That's the beauty of
Yeah.
this is that you can change. You can change out of this perfectionism loop. You can change out of this all or nothing. You can change out of this person who waits for the perfect time and create the time for yourself. Like rather than waiting for the right time, just being grateful that you have the time and going and getting it done. And in order to do that, I think it's also really important to understand where this perfectionism comes from and how it starts. So it could start from the fear of judgment and wanting to be this perfect person and show up in your absolute best way possible, which there's nothing wrong with wanting to be your best self. That's something that all of us hopefully want to be doing is showing up as our best selves. But the reality is that won't always be the case. And it's a matter of either showing up anyways or not, which is all or nothing.
Mhm.
Wanting to have control over everything, which again is not realistic because you might have a dentist appointment. That's the only dentist appointment, and you don't have control over that. But you do have control over either getting to the gym a little earlier that day, or maybe cutting your workout a little bit shorter, or maybe changing your rest days up in order to make it on time. Or if you're usually going at 5 a.m. and you have to go a little later that day, so be it. Like making changes to your program. And one that I really want to notate on is if you grew up being the responsible person, like always have where with a lot of expectations on you. So if you're an older sibling, or if you were taking care of younger siblings or younger cousins, or if you were the child in the family that was supposed to be like the doctor or the lawyer or someone, have the best grades, get rewarded for it. Like, yeah, like if you got rewarded for the perfect score or getting 100 on a test or whatever, you are immediately programmed in this way of I have to have 100% in order to get a reward. And the
Hmm.
reward could be as simple as, like you said, that dopamine hit of I did it perfectly. There we go. When you look back at it, it's like, am I really satisfied with that? Did I really need to get that 100% in order to be proud of myself, or would a 90 have been okay? Like would that
Hmm.
have been fine? So I think that coming down to that root of where it came from, and like really looking inwards of, am I just scared of getting judged by others? Because that was a big fear of mine. I mean, I held off on putting myself out there on social media, talking to the camera. And as you can tell, I love to talk, but I held myself back for years to talk to the camera because I was so worried of what people would think of me, and what if I mess up on camera, and what if I am rambling or whatever. And that fear literally like kept me in shackles until one day I was just like, I have to learn how to just not give a fuck.
Yeah. So, okay, so how did you break out of that then?
Broke out of it by, I love this. I broke out of it by taking messy action. I broke out of it by just, I mean, specifically for like content, for example, I broke out of it by starting to just record myself talk to my phone, whether or not I would ever post it. And just like get, like, literally just set up my phone, and every single day, even if I didn't click record, like just seeing myself on a camera, just like talking. I broke out of it by posting even when I was like scared shitless of who would see it, who would say something, what if I said something wrong, what if people would disagree with me, what if people thought I was stupid, and most importantly, just like not giving a shit, like just truly being so okay with the fact that if I fail at this, if this sucks, if this goes bad, I'll know what to do different. And it's funny because we were just talking earlier, right before we started this podcast, and I said that whenever I record on my phone from the side to make some like little shorts of this podcast, they're just not doing as well as I thought that they would. And that was like a little bit discouraging because, you take the time to record, to edit, to post, to hopefully bring value to other people, and it doesn't do that good, and that's discouraging. And that could have easily been like my thing of, okay, Mandy, like that's it, we're done podcasting. But instead, I was like, all right, I'm gonna try something else. You recommended a different approach to it. You recommended to set my phone up somewhere else, and I recommended to maybe try a different way of recording and maybe talk directly to the camera and so on and so forth. So taking messy action and like not being scared of failure, like being, if anything, weirdly excited to fail. And if I would be lying if I said that there wasn't disappointment when the failure happened, but it's not to the point where it stops me from trying again or trying something new. And
Hmm.
I also want to bring this into the gym aspect of it, of the way that I broke out of it, out of this stupid loop and cycle that I was in with the gym is, like I said, I got sick of my own shit. Like I truly, I just got sick of the fact that I wasn't making any progress. I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't moving forward in any way because I was just like scared of what would happen. And there came a point when I was like, well, what's the worst that can happen? I don't make progress in the gym. Well, that's not possible because then that means I'm doing something wrong. And when I started taking that accountability of, oh, okay, it's really on me and it's really in
Hmm.
my control, like I didn't, that wasn't a fear for me. Like that wasn't scary for me. If anything, that felt very, what's the word? Oh my God. Oh my God, I just had the word on the tip of my tongue.
Empowering.
Empowering. It felt very empowering. Like I started, like
Yeah.
it went from fear to this like empowering state of, okay, I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out, and just started taking messy action, going to the gym, had shitty form, like didn't know what I was doing, was girl, I was working out chest, okay, as like a wannabe future bikini competitor. I was training chest, like straight up like chest flies and chest press. And I'm like, looking back at it, I'm like, what the hell was I doing? But I had to take that messy action in order to now get to where I am and know what I know. And I still take messy action every single time that I get a new exercise programmed. And every time that my
Mhm.
coach adds more macros to my fitness pal, I'm like, ooh, all right, I gotta figure this out on the fly. But now that I've
Mhm.
made those mistakes in the past, it's that much easier to not let those like this seem like challenges, but just like, oh, okay, we're moving forward. Here's the next thing.
Mhm. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. I've been there.
How did
Um,
you break out of like, because I know that you had experiences when you were like younger and you got rewarded for doing things perfectly. Like how have you broken out of the I don't need to be perfect, even though maybe you were programmed that way?
oh, this is, let me
If you
take
feel
a
comfortable sharing, of course.
girl, you know me. I'm an open book. I'm gonna just take a big breath on this one and share something super personal. Okay. Um, yes, I grew up very perfectionist driven. My parents divorced when I was super young, and they were both very much like, you have to do good in school, you get good grades, then you're going to go to high school, then you're going to go to college. It was never a question of like, what do you want to do with your life? It's like, you don't have a choice. You're going to go to college because we didn't go to college and like, you're going to do better than us. Um, and so there was already that pressure. And this is a personal thing that I'll share is to break that cycle because I do agree with you. Messy action helps tremendously. And it's about like just kind of being brave enough to take that first step and know, like, ooh, our brains are programmed to keep us safe. So when we do something new, our brains are programmed to see it as scary and threatening. And then the more you try something new and you realize, oh, I'm not dying or nothing bad is happening, it gets easier to rewire your brain and break that cycle. But what I really want to share is that Sasha and I have been doing this for a really long time, and like she just brought up how her workspace, like she's catching herself years later in real time, like, oh, I still have to work on this. My biggest revelation was actually last year. Um, I just turned this year 37, so to give you an idea of how long this has taken me to kind of break the overall cycle. Because, like, yes, I broke it in the gym. I broke it with macros. I broke it with having a healthier lifestyle and not eating processed foods. But when I made the decision at the end of last year to leave nursing full time, to pursue functional health coaching full time to step I've literally worked this like quote unquote 9 to 5 lifestyle my whole life, and I was taught you do this, you work hard, you save up money, you put into your retirement account, you do all of these things, and you have to have financial security. So leaving that to something where like I'm working for myself, my financial security depends solely on the actions that I take, and I never went to school for this. I'm learning this on the fly. I am learning this from messy action. Sasha, I was so fucking scared to tell my mom that
Mm.
I was doing this. I had decided I was going to do it, and it literally took me months to have that phone call with her. And that's really how I broke the cycle because never in my past would I like get on the phone and be like, Mom, I really want to do this thing. And I realize I'm afraid to disappoint you because that's what I was programmed with. You go to school, you do well, you get a job, you save money, you get a retirement account, then you retire, whatever. And on the phone with her, I was like, okay, I'm gonna tell her I'm leaving nursing in January. And I was like, Mom, I want to tell you something, and I really like I'm afraid of the judgment, but I need to tell you. And we both ended up crying, and it was good tears. And she's like, Mandy, I never wanted like what I told you and taught you to hold you back. She's like, that was my fear. She was like, I had you. I was divorced, I was a single parent. I had to provide for you. And I never meant to put that program in you that you have to do all of these things because I was too afraid to try anything else. And
Yeah.
she's like, your situation is different. Like, I want you to follow your dreams and just be, be smart, be careful, but like you have that choice. And it was incredibly liberating.
Mm,
But I share that story to go back to how you said programming.
yeah.
Like, be conscious about it. My mom programmed this in me, and she didn't even mean to. She was in single mom survival mode, not realizing like how spongy children are.
Yeah. And also
And
probably trying to set you up for life to where you would like if God forbid
Mhm.
you had to fend for yourself, like you could. You know,
Oh,
like yeah,
100%.
like that you know how to do everything on your own, like and be set up for the future, you know? So like make sure you have a good job
Yeah.
and do this and do that and 9 to 5 because those are things that for the most part, like unless a natural
Hmm.
disaster or something crazy like
Yeah.
COVID happens, like for the most part, these are like most people could live their entire lives just working a 9 to 5 and that's not a problem, but there are some people who are also meant for more than that.
Yeah. Or
And you're
something
one of those
different.
people.
And
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah. And I felt that. And that's why I was so conflicted because I'm like, internally, I feel like this is what I want, but like, the perfectionist, the programming said, no, this is not what we do.
Yeah.
So if anyone can relate to that, because that's why I shared, like I'm literally a grown ass adult. And I had this moment where I'm like, oh, I'm still being held back because of this old belief in this
Yeah.
way. But again, just recognizing that pattern, that program, that all or nothing, that perfection, that like, oh, I'm expected to do this, it's still holding you back. And again, like my mom and I are very close. There's a lot of love there. And I was still scared to have this conversation. So just also knowing like, and I'm adult. I'm an adult. Like, why
Yeah.
am I so afraid to be like, Mom? I felt like I was telling her, Mom, I'm gonna take a gap year, before I go to
Yeah. Yeah.
college.
Yeah.
But that's just another, all that to say again, break the cycle, do something you never would have otherwise done. My example was a bit extreme, but that's what gets you out of this shit.
Yeah. That's what gets you out of it. And it could be do something that you've never done and or do something that you've wanted to do that you've been so afraid of. Like if you have 120 pounds to lose, start by trying to lose 10 pounds and then 20 pounds and so on and so forth. Like if you focus on trying to lose 120 pounds, even if that's like your end goal, you won't be happy or feel like you're making progress if you didn't lose that much, like, but if you lost 5. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So it's like, and thank you so much for sharing that story. I think that a lot of people could relate to this, especially, I feel like a lot of our parents wanted to set us up for success and wanted to make sure that we were, better than them and more ahead of them, not realizing that some of the things that they were doing actually held us back from being more than what we are, especially for those of us
Hmm.
who are capable of doing so. Um, and I mean, I could relate to the perfectionism aspect and, always like being held to a very high standard. I pretty much grew up raising my younger sister. So for me, I wasn't just responsible for me, I was responsible for her. If she did something wrong, that was on my head as well. And it was like, that was a lot as a child. I mean, I'm grateful for the way that it set me up because I'm, at my ripe 22 years, I feel like I've lived 30 plus years, if not even longer. So like I'm grateful for it and I wouldn't change a lot of things, but I feel like that for me, my biggest struggle was the all or nothing mindset, which is why I talk about it so passionately, is because if it wasn't perfect and if it wasn't everything, it was nothing. And like that is how my nutrition was, that is how my training was, that's how my gym was, that's how pretty much everything was, and I still feel it trickle sometimes into certain aspects of my life, like content creation or, taking the next big leap in certain things is if it's not everything that I want it to be or everything that I picture it to be because of the way that I want it to be, then it's going to be nothing. And that's something that I'm still actively breaking through once I notice it happen and just like taking action anyway. So I think the overarching theme here is just to take messy action and to understand that this perfectionism, all or nothing mindset is keeping you stuck. It stops your momentum. It stops you from moving forward. It stops you from seeing the potential of what consistency could have been. And like it causes so much self-criticism because even you being scared to tell your mom, like you were probably beating yourself up so much about it and like criticizing yourself of, is this the right decision? Am I making the right choice? Like what's the risk versus reward? Like where am I at to the point where you like overthought it
Oh
more than
yeah.
your mom even did, like, and that is so incredible that your mom was so supportive. And I hope that anyone who is going through something similar to maybe what Mandy's going through of, having to break some news of like, hey mom, I'm not going to be a lawyer, but I'm actually going to be like whatever.
An
um
artist.
an artist, yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah,
yes.
a photographer. Listen, incredible, I love that, do it, go you. But then you have to go all into what you love, what you're passionate about, like not be wishy-washy about it. And just have that self-trust in yourself of I can do that and prove it to yourself by taking action. Because when you don't take action, you're also not taking votes for yourself. If you're taking messy action, even if you mess up, you're at least taking action and you could see what's a mess up, what's working, what's not. Like it's still steps ahead. The road is not always going to be paved. Like you're not going to always be walking down a straight paved road. Like that's just the reality of it. If there's anyone who's listening to this that's ever gone on a hike or on a trail or something, like it's not just like you just go straight, like straight through. There's always going to be, and even if it's a straight road, there's going to be a pothole somewhere. Like that's really just what it is, and you have to be okay with that. And once you are able to identify that you're in this perfectionist mindset, where it came from, how it's holding you back, you can also start to break the cycle. And I feel like I'm going to sound like a broken robot because the first thing that I want to say is to take messy action because messy action is better than no action, to start before you feel ready. If you feel ready to start at noon, start at 11 a.m. If you
Mhm.
feel like you need to go to the gym at a certain time, screw that. Go before that. Like literally don't sit in the car until it's 11:45. Get out of the car at 11:43. Like those little
Mhm.
things, like don't just start before you feel ready. Break the cycle. And most importantly, and this is probably one of the last things that I want to, well, two last things that I want to tap on is I feel like you want to say something though.
No, 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 go, go. I
Oh,
do, but like I'm
okay,
just
wait, sorry. I'll tap on one of them and then the last thing that I'll say is going to be the last thing that I'll say, but stop restarting and instead
Mhm.
like just keep going on because there's, again with the perfectionism mindset, it's if you mess something up, you don't need to wipe your slate. Like if I misspelled something on my little sheet, I'm not gonna rip this whole sheet apart. I'm just gonna like exit out. And I literally did that. Like right over here, I like drew a line over because I like messed up and I was like, all right, whatever. I'm not gonna rip this whole thing up and restart. Like I'm just gonna keep going. And
Mhm.
that's like another thing that I feel like I've struggled with in this all or nothing perfectionism kind of mindset is feeling the need to restart anytime that I mess up or things don't go my way.
Mhm. Yeah. I just want I'm probably gonna sound like such a crazy person. I don't even care. I wanted to add a technique. I don't know if you've ever done this. Maybe it's just me, but for everyone else out there that's a little delulu like I am,
We all are. We all are.
this is how my like delulu brain works. When you want to start something new and it's like a little scary because even though we're like very well practiced in it, it's still a little scary. Um, get so delulu and pretend you're the main character in like a TV show because you are the main character of your life. And in this episode, you're trying something new. And when I think about it in that context, and I'll do this like even at the gym, I've been training for a decade and there are still some new machines I'll look at and I'll be like, shit, I don't know how to fucking set this up. But this is the Delulu episode. This is the episode where Mandy fucks around and finds out at the gym. So, like, that helps me like approach it with a little more lightheartedness
Yeah.
and love and makes it a little bit more fun for me to be like, okay, it's just a TV episode. I'm the main character. We're just trying something new versus like, oh, I'm too scared to do that. Maybe I'll
Yeah.
do that later when I'm ready. Maybe not. So I don't know if you do that too, but like,
I've done that where I'm just like I'll just tell myself like this is just literally like a fuck around and find out like
Mhm.
whatever happens like this is like uh fake like not like fake but it's like whatever happens, and I think that this brings me to the next point that I wanted to say, so I'm really glad that you just said that because and this is I can keep going on and on and on, but I think that one of the biggest things about breaking the cycle is redefining your idea of success. Because your idea of success when you're trying a new machine isn't, oh, I'm gonna hit a PR with this machine and I'm
Oh,
gonna
no.
this, and it's simply like, how the hell do I set this shit up? Like,
Hmm.
and if you figure that out, or even if you just like come close to the machine to try to figure it out, that could be your idea of success in that moment.
Hmm.
Like, you know what I mean? If you're someone that struggles with going to the gym, don't have this idea of, oh, okay, I'm gonna have a successful day if I get to the gym, do my whole workout, do my cardio session, stretch, warm up, and then leave. Like, have your idea of success showing up to the gym and doing the first set and like
Yeah.
getting into it. Like just start getting into it. If you're someone that struggles with tracking macros, instead of having the idea of, okay, I'm gonna be successful in tracking macros if I track for 5 days straight and hit every single number perfectly. How about we just start with trying to hit our protein goal? Let's start
Mhm.
there. Let's hit the protein goal. Then let's start, carbs and fats. Where can we add what? And maybe it's not going to be a perfect day, but you started logging in your food.
Hmm.
That's your success for the day. So redefine what your success looks like, and it can look different every day. Because as you progress, you can also set the bar higher for yourself. Like, don't move the goalpost as you're moving, because I think that that could be very detrimental to your success. But if you set this as the goal and you reach it, you can set the bar higher and go after that. So you got your protein intake. Cool. You hit that for a day or two straight. Awesome. Now you know how much protein you need. You could set the goal a little bit higher. Like redefine your success. Redefine what success means to you. And yeah, always strive to be better. But if you push the cart before the horse, you're it's easier to get discouraged when you set the bar too high and you have no idea how to get there than setting the bar at a moderate place and taking baby steps to get there and then pushing it up as you go.
Baby steps.
Baby steps, baby steps. But the first step is killing that perfectionism mindset.
100.
100,
Agreed.
100. Is there anything else that you want to add?
No, just do it, ladies. Just Nike that shit. Just do it.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, and I just want to close this off with something that I said in the beginning, just in case this went over anyone's head, or maybe it's going to stick a little bit more now to say it after everything, which again, thank you so much, Mandy, for sharing your personal story, and all like that tactic that you mentioned. I think
Mhm.
that that is such an awesome little, like, that's how I treat my social medias. I'm like, this is just like my like private story. Like, this is just like my episodes. This is my little TV
Mhm.
show. If they flop, they flop. Not every episode is amazing. Like, it's fine.
It's a filler episode.
It's
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. It's just like
Hmm.
it's here for the plot. That's it.
Hmm.
But what I want to end everybody off with, first of all, obviously, thank you so much for tuning in and listening. Like, comment if anything, if you got anything from this episode, if anything connected to you, and if there's something along these lines that you would want to hear more of. But the last thing that I just want to say is what I said in the beginning, and that is that being imperfectly consistent will get you further than occasional perfection. I feel like I want to tattoo that on my forehead because that is, I won't actually do that. I'm not going to pull one of those moves, but that just feels like a very good place to end because imperfect, consistent, like being imperfect, but doing that consistently, you will you will gain more out of that. You will learn more about yourself and you will then reach your goals rather than not. So that is it. That is all. As always, thank you for tuning in. I'm gonna drop all of our deets, Instagrams, and whatnot in the show notes below. So connect with us over there if there's anything that spoke to you. And yeah, thanks for tuning in to another episode. Love you all and have a great rest of your day. Bye.